welcome to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in today. On today's video, I will be reviewing the SteelDive SD1968, or as it's better known as the Seiko Marinemaster Homage. This was one of the watches featured on my video that I did of the best Marinemaster homages out there. As you can see, this is, if you're familiar with the SteelDive brand, the SD1968, they've only had it in black. So they've just released the newer model in green and also in blue. If you follow my videos and you are a fan of SteelDive, then you'll know that they are going back through the old watches and just making the three color options available in them. So the black, the blue and the green. So this was just released. Got myself a piece so I can review it. As mentioned, it was put on my Marinemaster homage list, so I've been interested. I've wanted to get this in for a while just to see how it compares to my Proxima Marinemaster, which on that note, I will release another video which will be a comparison between the SteelDive and the Proxima, so stay tuned for that as well. Before I go any further, you know the script by now. Hit the subscribe button, support the channel, join the channel. It's appreciated. It helps me make future videos, future content. Also hit the like button if you like the video, and look in the descriptions if you're interested in purchasing the SteelDive or any SteelDive. Then you can use the AliExpress link, which will be in the description. The link is affiliated. I have an affiliation with AliExpress, not with SteelDive. So AliExpress give you a little commission for me bringing traffic through their website, basically. So that doesn't add anything else. It doesn't cost you anymore. It just supports the channel and supports me putting money back into more watches. Now, with that being said, let's delay no further and get straight into the review. This arrived a couple of days ago from SteelDive. I was told by the person that I deal with the SteelDive, they've just made the Marinemaster in green, and these are also nicknamed the Hulk after obviously the Rolex Submariner. Now, I wasn't going to make this video initially. As you can see, for those sharp-eyed viewers out there, just have a look at the dial. It's been assembled incorrectly. The dial is tilted slightly towards the left, so they've assembled it incorrectly, obviously. Now this watch is going to go back to SteelDive. I could open it, try fixing it, but I think sometimes you end up causing more damage. I have the SD1968 in black. I'll just give you a quick look at that, and that's currently going through a mod process. I'll be modding this with a dial. Now, I think something happened that stopped me, where the stem broke inside the case. So I just got some stems. I'll be fixing this. I'm just waiting a dial. So that was that. So rather than open up another one and maybe, because they're not all constructed the same. I know Proxima differ in the way they construct this. So this is just a point out there for the modders. The SteelDive does not use a collar system on the actual crown and stem. It's actually one piece, and I think that is what caused the actual breakage. Let's see if I can find the damn crown. There we go. So usually on the Proxima, and I've seen on some of these cases, there is a slight collar that sits here. Because it's a monocog case, you can't get into the case from the back, you have to go from the front. They use a collar system which holds the crown to the stem, which you basically just unscrew. However, this one had a solid fixing, and I think that's what caused it to snap. So just need to fix that and mod that. I might make a video on that after. But just to get back to the actual video, yeah, the only reason I want to do it is because I know I like to get the first reviews out there. So this is the newest release from SteelDive. Obviously, they've given me a dud watch. That might not be the case for yourself. Just if you do want to order it, just make sure you ask the person, whoever they are, just to check it themselves. I had a couple of QC issues from the start when I started ordering from SteelDive. I asked the representative to make sure they look over all my watches before they send them. it's a headache. You know, I live in the UK, sending it back to China, but I think with this I will they are going to feel some pain for this, so I think I'll look for a very big discount compensation of this, because you know, it's a hassle. That said, I think we can still continue with the review. So let's start off with dimensions. So the dimensions are the same as the normal color option, the one in black. The case is a 44 millimeters in diameter. You've got a thickness of 17.5, and you've got a log to log of approximately 50 millimeters. Specifications, let's start from the top. So you've got a double dome AR coated sapphire crystal. You've got a ceramic bezel insert. The watch runs a NH35A 24 joule hand winding hacking movement. It's a monocog case as mentioned, 316 Al stainless steel, and you've got the crown at the 350 PM position, screw down, and the watch claims a 300 meters water resistance, which is not difficult at all due to it being especially a monocog case, and you know, you've got your gaskets within the screw down crown and the gaskets between obviously bezel crystal. From SteelDive, the watch comes with a variety of options. You've got a bracelet, you've got silicone, you've got NATO, etc. You can actually put this on leather as well. However, I opted for the stainless steel bracelet version. This is the same bracelet that is on the Proxima, so I know the bracelets are actually fairly decent. So on the bracelet side, there's a very minute amount of play. I'd say that's because the drilled logs are slightly narrower, so it's not really holding the fat boy spring bars, but that's it's not too bad, to be honest. Bracelet links, they are quite longer than usual links. However, it's built well, it's really smooth, there's no issues with the bracelet on that side. You've got brushed links with polished center links. Clasp, unfortunately, is a stamped clasp. Now this is the same clasp you get with a Proxima, so you can easily replace these out. I've got one here. If you do want to replace them out, these you can buy these from AliExpress. They're roughly £4 something, and for 20 mil bracelets, which is what this is, you've got a lug width of 20 mil. You need an 18 mil clasp so that it fits this bracelet. For a 22 mil bracelet, you need a 20 mil clasp. So from the bracelet, we can move down to the actual case. Case, as mentioned, stainless steel, 316 Al. You've got high polished all round the actual case. You've got the center line, which is down across laterally across the middle of the case, which has been brushed, which is trying to be in line with the actual Marinemaster. However, let me just give you a quick clean so you can see it. The quality of the polish is actually quite good, very high polish. However, the brushing, it seems quite rough. I don't know if you can see that. So it is quite coarse. Anyway, I've seen this kind of brushing, I think, on Sumo cases. So the SteelDive SD1971, even on the Proxima Marinemaster, the brushing isn't this coarse usually. However, it's not sharp, it's just visibly you can see. But to be honest, most of the time, you won't see that when it's on your wrist. You've got brushing on the lug ends on the case. So the case is very decent, in my opinion. Now, moving on to the bent dial. If you just ignore the fact that they've not assembled it right, and they've gone, so this is the finish on the actual dial is the same finish, it's the same color as the actual SD1971, the green Sumo. Let's get a focus on there. You've got applied indices, printed logo, SteelDive under the 12 o'clock, and then at the bottom you've got, let's make that more visible here. Okay, so on the actual black version you have Marinemaster automatic 300, but on this one they've written Army Engineer. Now I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. SteelDive, if you've seen their website, they've got 3 logos actually there. And what I'm assuming they're trying to do, they're trying to make 3 different, I think, ranges. So depending on the logo, you've got Army Diver, you've got Army Engineer, and Army, is it Marine? I think one of them. So they haven't done that successfully yet, I don't think. However, I don't know what they're actually doing with this. I think a lot of you would actually prefer it written Marinemaster on the bottom, but this is how they've done it. You've got a Marinemaster style hands. Now, because I've took this watch apart, not this exact one, the black one, I can tell you the parts are actually of very good quality. The dial is, you know, it is exceptional. The loom is bright, and the hands themselves are quite thick, very well made. You can see, let's just focus in on the hand slightly. You can see that chamfered edge on either side of the hands, and you've got this brushed center. So you've got good quality materials being used, green chapter ring, and of course you've got your green ceramic bezel insert with the Marinemaster style bezel. Oof, that doesn't sound the best. You've got a bit of back play, well, quite a bit. The bezel does not sound the best. I feel SteelDive, rather than get better, the bezel game is really weak. I have to say, I don't see any real improvements. So I think that's why, another reason I will be sending it back and just getting a replacement. Maybe that one will be a bit better. So it's that, it comes back down to, you know, yes, they are cheap, but then there needs to be that R&D going into watches. Imagine if you're a micro brand, you know, you get this case from a company in China that's made it for you. You need to touch it, feel it. In the car industry, they call it the squeak and rattle test. So same thing. It's a, you know, a watch is not something that just stays there on the mantle. You wear it. You know, you actively hold it, take it off, put it on. I know some people, you sit there and you just take your watch off, put it back on, just to have a little mess about with it. So that needs to, I mean, it's not awful, it does turn, but the sound, I'm not impressed with the sound at all, I must say. The black one did not have this issue. It's just, maybe it's because it's new, it's different, or it's really hard to say unless you take it apart. I do know, I'd say the materials used must be cheaper, and that's why you get this really poor quality sound coming out. It is by no way tactical or, you know, smooth at all. Let's see the actual loom, see how it's doing on that side. So as you can see, at least on the loom front, SteelDive do not usually disappoint, and they've kept it going. As I mentioned, the dial is a really high quality dial, and you can see you've got a blue BGW9 loom around the ceramic bezel insert and the actual dial and hands. Very well lit up, very evenly painted. So that is some real solid loom, which should last quite a long time. Absolutely no issues with that. Okay, the loom shot out the way. I think let's finish this off with a wrist shot. Okay, at this point, I can show you what I'm actually wearing on my wrist. So my watch of the day, it's been modded by myself. PVD 6105 case, exhibition case back, and I've used a black Heimdallr dial. So I have homaged a homage. Imagine that. Let's put that down. Okay, so the Marinemaster. It is a chunky watch, no doubt. I think fit wise, it's just on the limit for a 6.5 inch wrist. It does come out a little thick. That's because just due to the fact that the domed sapphire crystal is so high. It does say all flush, so it's giving you quite a bit of thickness on that. However, I think fitting's okay once it is properly sized, and the color, I do like the color. I think Heimdall do one with a silver chapter ring, which does look quite awesome actually. Breaks it up a bit. Plus the AR coating isn't too strong. They made that mistake with the SD1971, the Sumo Homage, where the AR coating was just ridiculous. It gave you a lot of glare on the actual watch, ironically. Summarize, I will say I am pretty disappointed with this watch. Just the fact that, not with the watch, with the SteelDive, you know, they gave me something which wasn't, you know, fully QC'd at all. That's bad on their part. Other than that, I do love the dial. I love the color combination. I think it's awesome. Overall, general build quality is really good. I'd say I'd give it maybe a 7.5. They could obviously make slight polishing improvements, and obviously QC. For me, the bezel, the sapphire glass, it sits a little too proud. I'd like it to sit flush. Maybe a single dome even. I don't see this issue is not on the Proxima, but wait for that video. The video's coming out after this. Also, not impressed with the actual sound of the bezel. It's too loud and ratchety, very loud. The bracelet's good weight. Back of the watch, you've got the, so look, here it is. You've got the Army Engineer logo. That is one thing I don't really mind. I do actually like the SteelDive logos. I think it's a 50-50 split, to be honest. Maybe more leaning towards, you know, just slightly that they don't actually like the logo, but it's a real 50-50 split. But it is what it is, you know. QC is a massive issue. That's why so much money goes into it. Me working in quality, I know the actual impact it has. So this will be going back. Hopefully when I get another one, I might do, by the time I get that one back, I should have another Marinemaster to compare it to, maybe a Heimdall or a San Martin. So stay tuned. There's a couple of good videos coming out soon enough. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again.